I have the distinct honor of getting to announce with my good friend Tom Arceneaux a little bit of history today. I wanted to thank you all first for weathering the rain outside and for joining us for this momentous occasion. Tom is a great friend of mine. We're law partners together, but more importantly, I've had an opportunity to work with him through this campaign and see his true love for our community. Mayor Tyler has already said that she's had the pleasure of knowing Tom for more than 2 decades, and that they are great people who truly care about all of God's children, and that Tom is one of those people. Today, you'll get the opportunity to hear from our 3 past mayors. And as a 38-year-old professional living in the city of Shreveport, that really shows me what unity can be. That shows me that we can look back and gain from our history as we move our city forward. And Tom's first thought was to reach out and learn. And so you don't want to hear talks from me today. You want to hear talks from that man right there. And so I want to bring up Tom Arceneaux, and I also want to bring up our 3 past mayors, Mayor Cedric Glover, Mayor Ollie Tyler, and Mayor Adrian Perkins, in a true show of unity about moving our city forward and helping us to get Tom Arceneaux elected Shreveport's next mayor. Thank you.
Thank you all for being here. I am really humbled by what we're doing here today. If you've been on the other side of the desk when you've held public office, you know that things look different on the other side of the desk when you're the one that has to make the decision. To do a really good job as mayor, it's necessary to have a good relationship with people who have been the mayor. Regardless of issues, they're just things that come up, and they're gonna have perspective about how to handle things and what they may have done right, and sometimes what they might not have done right to help you avoid. And I have been friends with Mayor Glover for a very long time, friends with Mayor Tyler for a long time, and friends with Mayor Perkins for a shorter time, but an intense time. And I have learned that they have a great deal of wisdom to share, and I am honored and humbled that they would endorse me in my candidacy for mayor. So I'm not gonna take very much of your time because we're gonna go with them. I do wanna make sure that you know the future First Lady of Shreveport. I've said many times, and I'll say it again here, the best thing about electing me mayor is you get her as First Lady. So I just want to tell you what we're showing today is this is not my Shreveport. It's not your Shreveport. It's our Shreveport. I'm going to turn it over to Will, who will introduce the 3 mayors. Thank you.
As previously stated, Mayor Tyler has already given her endorsement and given a statement and is on video, and we refer you to those for her additional comments. We have to work together as a community, and I appreciate the mayors for being here today and standing together with Tom. The next person you'll hear is our most recent mayor, Mayor Adrian Perkins. Thank you.
Thank you, Will, for everything that you've done for the city. And Tom, I'm really looking forward to your leadership here in Shreveport. And I gotta tell you, I am happy not to be the man of the hour right now. Very, very happy. But in all honesty, I absolutely love Shreveport. And I'm so proud to endorse Tom to be the next mayor of Shreveport because I know he has the same heart for our city. In my endorsement of the next mayor of Shreveport, I thought about who could continue to push our city forward, and without a doubt, it was Tom. My endorsement is not about partisanship. As we know, we are on different sides of the aisle. It's not about race in our city. That's still a very important topic. It's about who is the best person for the job, and undoubtedly, that is Tom Arceneaux. I'm asking each and every citizen to remain engaged in this runoff election and make sure you go and cast your vote for Tom Arceneaux. Thank you.
Tom made a point to say that this is about every voice. some people may have asked, well, why would you want the endorsement of these mayors? I'll tell you why. Because those mayors represent people. Those mayors have heard voices that even we have not been able to hear yet. And so what this does is allows us to reach into every community, and allows Tom to reach into every community, and Elizabeth to reach into every community, and continue to unite our city. So we'd like to bring up Mayor Cedric Glover for a few words, and the end, I think we'll leave it with Tom. So this is the last you'll see of me.
Good morning.
Morning.
So I am honored to be here with you this morning. As most of you all who know me know that if I'm to speak, I usually do so from an outline. But I felt it important today to actually write down exactly what I wanted to express, not just so that I could be precise with my language, but so I could also memorialize and share what's being said here today. And so if you'll give me just a few minutes, I'm honored to be here this morning, engaging in the American democratic process. It's also a privilege to share the podium with two fellow mayors, and hopefully our next mayor. Some may be shocked to see me here this morning, but if you know me at all, my presence here should not be a shock to you. If you have followed my journey as an elected official, then you would know that what's happening here is not just significant, it's also completely unprecedented. A dozen years ago, I was in a mayoral runoff against a candidate of both a different race and a different party. And on 3 separate occasions, press conferences were held very similar to this, maybe not so well attended, where I was endorsed by either former candidates or elected officials who are the opposite race and the opposite party. In fact, one of, if not the only endorsement from a 2010 primary candidate that I did not receive from mayor was from a fellow Democrat who also happened to be African American. I believe I received those cross-racial and cross-party endorsements because each of those former candidates and elected officials looked at the 2 remaining options before them and came to the conclusion that despite my being both black and Democratic, that I was the one remaining candidate that they felt most comfortable and confident being at the helm of the city of Shreveport for the next 4 years. That same task is before me today. Given what's at stake in terms of the future of the city of Shreveport, silence or remaining on the sidelines is not an option. And what is at stake, you may ask? At the risk of sounding cliche-ish, I believe it to be the literal future of our city. While these 2 remaining runoff candidates represent our past and are our present choices, the 3rd, 4th, and 5th place primary finishers represents Shreveport's future. Why, you may ask? Because they represent what the city of Shreveport needs the most right now. What's that? They are millennials of childbearing age, a group that is quickly following their Generation X predecessors towards destinations far from Shreveport. Their continued loss leaves us as an expanding city geographically with a correspondingly shrinking population. So the question left to me, as someone who cares about the future of this city, is which of these 2 remaining individuals do I believe can best build a Shreveport that gives our city's youth a reason to stay? While I have known both individuals for well over 30 years, rather than base my support on anything personal, I choose to focus on 2 areas of policy The first of which intersects all three of us. That being the recent decision by the state to allocate $70 million for the purpose of relocating state operations into downtown Shreveport by adaptively repurposing the former federal building at 500 Fannin Street. A project that makes sense at so many levels, not the least of which is that now 2 teams of Shreveport-based architects and engineers have been selected to lead the effort forward towards fruition. Despite all of the enthusiasm shown by the community at large since the project's announcement, I am the only Democrat from Shreveport in the legislature who was for addressing our region's state office space needs in this way. In fact, it actually took partnering with a Bossier Republican, Senator Robert Mills, to help forge the biracial and bipartisan coalition needed to gain regional consensus so that we could move forward with greenlighting this project. Tom Arceneaux, on the other hand, got it right from the beginning, and not only helped with the downtown piece of the equation, but just as importantly, he helped to lead his neighbors through a grassroots, community-driven dialogue that identified the best means to facilitate a process that will repurpose the redevelopment of the existing state building on Fairfield once the new building downtown is ready to be occupied. In doing so, Tom placed the best interest of his neighborhood and the city as a whole as his paramount concern. That is exactly what good mayors do. The second area of policy is the 5-year-old 2017 Justice Reinvestment Act, a bold effort led by Governor John Bel Edwards, who just may be here as we speak, and is grounded in the belief that as a state, we can be both hard on crime and smart on crime. And in doing so, we can both lower crime as a whole, and while at the same time move us away from being the state that has decades upon decades of being the leader across the country and the world in terms of the highest incarceration rates. While Tom is not in the legislature, if he were, he would likely come from a district where he would likely vote against the measure for reasons that he would well articulate and be prepared to debate in an open-minded fashion. On the other hand, Tom's opponent in this race represents parts of Shreveport and Caddo Parish that even he acknowledges have been redlined, neglected, and disinvested for at least the last 40 years. He represents parts of this community where the youth are very well familiar with the criminal justice system. Too many of them know more about the inside of a courtroom and a jail cell than they do about a classroom, a laboratory, or library. They are a part of Shreveport. They are a part of the Shreveport to prison pipeline. And those of us who represent them and who ask for the prayers, the support, and the votes of the mothers, fathers, and families who love them have to be the ones in these elected positions where we are already in the minority, who are willing to speak up, speak out, and take a stance on their behalf. Unfortunately, not only has Tom's opponent voted against, he has unjustly, unfairly undermined, maligned, and mischaracterized Governor Edwards' Justice Reinvestment Act. So, whether our youth are leaving Shreveport via pathways to better opportunities in other states, or the pipeline that leads them to prison, or if they are amongst the hardy and resourceful dwindling few, like the 3rd, 4th, and 5th place finishers in this mayoral race, they they have decided to stay here and fight for a better future here in Shreveport, I have determined, like others did of me 12 years ago, that the person best suited to work with these talented, enterprising young people and all of us who are focused on building a better and more potential-filled Shreveport just happens to be a person of a different race and a different party. And that person happens to be Tom Arceneaux.
I know I said I was done. So originally as planned, and we believe in full transparency here, Mayor Tyler has struggled with her voice a little bit. The weather's a little rough on everyone around, and so originally she didn't feel the need, because she's voiced her endorsement on video, to necessarily speak today, but as my pastor would say, the Spirit moved her. She's gonna come up and say a few words as well.
Amen.
I do sound like a frog because I have a little cold going on, but I did want to say, we've done a video. We've been with Tom from day one. And I've known Tom for several years, many years. Just want you to know that we support and we endorse a person with principle, with integrity. We're not endorsing a party. We're endorsing a person. A person with the kind of leadership and a person who has a servant heart. I've seen Tom work and volunteer in this community for so many years. And I can name you just a few of the boards that he served on. So he is truly a public servant. We need someone who's willing to serve the people. Tom is the kind of person who loves people, all people. And when I got to really know who he was, I was so impressed with his heart. And I wanted to say that this morning, even though I'm struggling with my voice today, I do want you to know that we're supporting a man who's able to step into the mayor's position today and unite all of us and take us to a better place in Shreveport. We have a great city. Tom loves Shreveport as much as I do. And I believe he loves all people. And so I'm excited. I'm really happy that he decided to step up and run for this position and offer himself up for service again. He served on the city council many years ago. He knew what that was like. This is really a tougher position. But Tom can do it. And he'll need the support of all of us. And so I'm asking people to go to the polls, even this week, and vote for Tom Arceneaux, the best person to be the mayor of the city of Shreveport. And on December the 10th, don't forget, number 64 on your ballot. Vote for a man who cares about all of God's children. Thank you so much for being
I thank everybody for being here. We please, there's at least a donut or two. The folks in the back may have helped themselves a little bit, but there's some donuts and coffee. Please feel free to mingle and meet with all the people who are here. I'm thrilled that this is a diverse group of people. This is the kind of group that we're going to have in the city of Shreveport. Everybody will have a voice. Everybody will have a seat at the table. And so I appreciate everyone being here, and I thank you for your attendance, and that concludes our event. Thank you very much. You did great.
And now everybody stands where they are. Nobody. That's like something.
Adrian, you want to choose my camera? That's okay.